This dog came from behind the car that was being washed. And it was a white German Shepherd. And all I was like, oh my God. And I knew it was a racist dog because fire. What's up, y'all? My name is Backpack Jeff. I graduated from here 22 years ago. What's up? Why is my name Backpack Jeff? Because I like wearing backpacks. No, that's not the only reason. I'll tell you at the end. Yeah, my name is Backpack Jeff. I'm a professional speaker, so I get paid to talk. People literally pay me money to go into schools, to go into their company, to go into their organization and talk to those people. What's up? Am I getting paid right now? No, sometimes you got to put in a little bit of work so that you can get some video, so that you can sell the video, so that you can get paid on the back end. What I be talking about? What you want me to talk about? If I was going to talk about anything, if you was going to listen to a speaker talk, what you want that speaker to talk about? About food? No. About food? Oh my goodness. What about? What is? It's got to be some. It's got to be a message in it, right? So like, I'll give you an example. So one of the things that I like to talk about is fear. Anybody in here like public speaking? They like getting up in front of people and talking. Y'all know that this is one of the biggest fears in the whole entire world is public speaking. A lot of people are afraid of it, and it reminded me of this story that I heard from my mentor. His name is Les Brown, and his story reminded me of my experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put his story into my experience. If that's cool, let me hear you say cool. Cool. If that's cool, let me hear you say cool. Cool. All right, y'all. So look, one day, right, I was selling insurance. I was working for Aflac, and I was doing real good. I was walking into this real nice neighborhood, and I was walking in this nice neighborhood, and I was trying to figure out which one of these houses was the house I was supposed to knock on to sell this person insurance. And so I'm walking, and I'm just enjoying the scenery. I mean, I see people like outside washing their cars, people outside cooking and stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is tight. I'm like, man, this is nice. And all of a sudden, this dog came from behind the car that was being washed. And it was a white German Shepherd. And all I was like, oh my God. And I knew it was a racist dog because why would a white dog be chasing a black person? I knew the dog had to be racist because why are you chasing me? I don't understand. I never met you before. I ain't do nothing to you, right? And so I ran. And what I didn't know, I'm coming down a hill. If you don't know anything about Pennsylvania is just one big hill. That's all you got to know. It's one big hill and it's got a ton of bridges. That's it. I'm running down the hill, right? And I got on my dress shoes. I got on my Stacey Adams. This is back when we wore dress shoes, okay? Stacey Adams, they was nice and shined up. And I'm gone. I mean, I'm booking, y'all. I'm out of this joint. And I'm saying to myself, okay, if you running from a dog, you got to get up on top of a car or you got to get on something elevated. And I'm looking and I'm like, where can I go while I'm running? I'm like, I don't see a pickup truck, so I can't get on the back of no pickup trucks. I look to the left and I see that there's a deck. And I'm like, okay, I can run up the steps to that deck. And then if the dog run up the steps to the deck, I can just jump off and he gonna have to run back down the steps, right? So I go over to the deck. What I tell you about Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania got a whole lot of what? Hills. What I did not understand was I did not know that there was a hill right before that deck. And if you ever had on dress shoes, you know there ain't no traction on the bottom of them dress shoes. And the moment I stepped onto the grass, oh my God, I knew it. I was dead. Death by a racist white German Shepherd. That was the end of my life, y'all. That was the end of my life. I knew, I'm going to tell you what happened. In life, what you got to do is you got to dust yourself back up off. You got to dust yourself off and you got to get up and you got to try again, don't you? So what you think I did? Nah, I went home. Nah, I didn't do that. Nah, I should have did that, but I came back the next day. I'm looking for the dog now. I know which house he coming out of, right? And I'm creeping. I'm not walking with so much confidence no more. I'm creeping like this, right? I'm like, I don't know. All right, the garage is closed. I'm creeping, right? And I see him again. He come out. I'm like, all right, no, I'm going back into the car. I'm going back. I go back a third time. I said, this time this dog not gonna get me. He not gonna get me, y'all. I said, I'm gonna stand my ground. I'm gonna stand 10 toes down. I'm back, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. Get yourself right, Jeff. Come on now. So I started to say to myself, I said, all right, cool. I got this. The dog came up to me. He can't hear he come again, running around the corner. I stood right there. I was like, what's up? What's up? The dog got this close. He opened his mouth and he ain't have no teeth. I was afraid of something that couldn't even harm me. How many of us are afraid of things that can't even harm you? Some of us don't even like speaking, but we won't even try it and it can't even harm you. But on the other side of fear, I learned on the other side of fear is everything that you've been asking for life. So this is what I do. I tell stories like the one I just told y'all. I make it funny. I make it engaging. And then you got to be able to put a message behind it, right? So what the way that I got into speaking, I heard this guy, his name was Dr. Eric Thomas. And back in 2014, I was in the insurance business. And in the insurance business, we work on flat commission. Essentially, if you don't sell anything, then that means you don't get paid at all during that time. And so I wanted to make sure that I got paid. And I wanted to stay motivated as well, because 100 people will tell you no before one person will tell you yes. And so you got to stay encouraged when people are telling you no. And so I would listen to other speakers and I would listen to their stories. And he'd say, I'm homeless. I'm sleeping in abandoned buildings, eating out of trash cans. And I'm like, man, I've been homeless before. I slept in my car before in the wintertime. I slept outside of hotels and went in and stole breakfast from the hotel because I didn't have money to be able to pay for it. I have the same type of story, but I got to figure out how can I make what I do into a business. And so what I did was I started to get information from him that taught me how to get into the speaking industry. And so what I did was I listened and I followed his direction. I followed everything that he told me to do. He said, Jeff, you got to speak for the first 3 to 4 years and you got to speak for free during that time. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna speak for free during that time. And then all of a sudden I got $50 for 20 minutes. And then all of a sudden I got $100. And all of a sudden I got $250. And then all of a sudden I started to get paid a lot of money. If you were to go somewhere and speak just for an hour, how much would you think they would pay you for that hour to talk? 150? Okay. All right. Cool. So look, my mentor back in 2014, he was making $50,000 an hour. An hour. $50,000 an hour. How much you think he charged now? $200,000. For an hour of talking, $200,000. Not Willie Jolly, Eric Thomas, his one of his mentees, one of Dr. Willie Jolly's mentees, Eric Thomas. But he's charging $200,000 an hour. And I'm saying to myself, like, yo, how do I get to, because I'm trying to get, and then you learn something. The more you learn, the more you earn. So after I finished my bachelor's degree, I went back, I said, let me get my master's degree. I said, because the more you learn, the more you earn. The more skills you develop, the more valuable you become. In life, you'll realize all you do as you get older is solve problems. That's literally, and the better you are at solving problems, the more money you can make. So if I wanted to get better at speaking, if I wanted to make more money, all I got to do is be able to solve more problems than the next person, right? So I start solving problems. Now in 2026 school year, I'm going back to school again to go get my PhD. Why? Because the more you learn, the more you earn. Right. I'm trying to get that $200,000 an hour. I'm trying to get that $50,000 an hour, y'all. So I started to grow myself as a speaker, not only as a speaker, but as a business owner and as a brand. And I started to do this thing. Any of y'all know what a lumberjack is? What's a lumberjack? They cut wood, right? That's what a lumberjack does. Lumberjack cuts wood. And so I started to look at, I heard this story and it's made me look at life just like cutting wood. So one day there was this young lumberjack. He was stocky, big dude, right? And he wanted to go work for this older gentleman because his lumberjack company was doing really, really well. And so the first day he got on the job, he was like, man, I'm bigger than this dude, stronger than this dude. I'm going to show him that I can cut down trees way faster than he can. I'm going to show him I can cut down trees way faster than he can. All right. So throughout the day, they cutting down trees and he making sure he's looking at the older guy cut down the trees and he's cutting down the trees, but he sees the older guy go take 2-3 breaks during the day. He like, oh, he going over there to take breaks. Ain't no way he going to cut down more trees than me. At the end of the day, guess who cut down more trees? The guy that was taking breaks. But why was the guy that was taking breaks cutting down more trees? Because each time he was refreshing himself. Each time, not only was he refreshing himself, you on the right track. What's up? He was allowing himself to rest. He was allowing himself to rest, sort of refreshing himself. What else was he doing during that time? One of the things he was doing during that time was he was sharpening his axe. When you cutting down wood, you got to sharpen your axe, because if not, the axe becomes dull and it's harder to use. Y'all, if you don't sharpen your mental axe, your brain is just like that axe. I want you to sharpen your axe. You got to sharpen your axe. So I started to sharpen my axe and I started to invest in myself every single day. The biggest investment that you'll ever have in life is the investment that you make in yourself every day, and the investment that you make in whatever it is that you're trying to do. All right. Any questions? Yes. You forgot the question? No, you good. Any other questions? Any questions? All right, I'm gonna do a rap for y'all real quick, and then now I'm just messing with y'all. I don't rap. Huh? I can't play like that. All right. Let me see. And that is exactly why they call me Backpack. I appreciate y'all.